Welcome back, everybody. It is still I, Matsuda, here, joined with once again Joshi, and we're here for game two of Bluebird versus Anarchy. Anarchy taking game one over Bluebird, and we're gonna see if Bluebird Burb has the potential to bring it back and go for game three here, as picks and bans are going through. Already, we see the Ari band right away.
And they have a lot that they need to work on as it currently stands. Anarchy was able to win in basically every single position as they lock in the York band. Bluebird was not able to find really any opportunity to push anything forward, and Anarchy was able to just run over the game very quickly in just over 20 minutes. Didn't even need the Baron. They just had pressure in every single lane. But as we start getting into the picks and bans, Ari, LeBlanc, and York already banned away. Anarchy, I don't expect to see a whole lot of changes from how they picked the first game around, and as they ban out the Leona, so far it's looking exactly the same.
Yeah, same bands. I guess Bluebird doesn't just want to go against Anarchy's champion pools. Same with Anarchy. I mean, it worked for Anarchy in game one with their bans, so I'm not gonna judge them too hard on it, as we do see the Irelia ban going through, which is not surprising. I guess Irelia's okay champion right now. Still decently strong in the mid lane.
Aurelia's got the opportunity to flex around as well. We've seen a couple of players like Smeb and Keen play it at Worlds, but now with three bans nominally targeted at Nunafan in the mid lane, we'll have to see them on something different. As we start looking into what these two teams will pick, I do have to imagine we're going to see something different in the top lane. Shanghai's Trundle, while he might be good at piloting it, it's not something that is super exciting to see in general, but they are going to be locking in the Alistar for Wild, taking that away from Bang Buzz Driver. So already we're going to see a significantly different draft from what we saw last game.
Yeah, already drafts changing it up. We see the respectful. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they still picked up Braum and Alistar first, which is
Makes a
this is
lot of sense. The question will be what they're going to pair with it. We have seen the supports trade champions, and now last time we saw Viper Fang on the Vars, he was able to have a very dominant laning phase, but it looks like this time he's going to be picking up the Lucian instead, who should have an even more dominant laning phase when paired with this Braum. Bluebird is going to be in a serious position of hurt as they try and figure out what they're going to be pairing with this Alistar. If they pick something that can go toe to toe, something like the Vars that we've seen previously, they should have an okay time. But this Kaisa coming out for Dalzanor, gonna be really struggling to fight early on in the game. Kaisa renowned for her weak early game.
yeah. I think the Kaisa and Alistar bot lane isn't too bad, but compared to a Lucian and Braum lane, that is very heavily in favor of the Lucian and Braum. Lucian with an early amount of pressure during the laning phase, especially with concussive blows, complementing his passive. So it just kind of works out that way as we see Bluebird pick up the Urgot for themselves.
Urgot was one of those champions that I was hoping to see a little bit in the first game, but as we get into the second game, they are going to be locking it in. I have to imagine this is probably going to Shanghai, as very few mid laners have been putting time into this champion, even though it is very playable there. But Nunafan, with so many assassins already banned out, reaching deep into the pockets and going to be pulling out a Diana pick.
Yeah, though Diana seems like Anarchy's feeling comfortable, says, all right, we're going to put Nuna fan on Diana. Hope to see it successful. I don't see a lot of Diana. I think she's okay as a champion. I don't see her as often currently in the current meta itself.
She has a very, very weak early game and really only brings one thing to your team, and that's the ability to one-shot a target. As you start finishing things like the Spellbinder and the Rabadon's Death Cap, you find someone like the Kaisa, you press Q, and then you press R, and suddenly there's no more Kaisa. But as we continue to ban a number of champions out, two suppressions banned away from Bluebird as the Skarner and Malzahar are taken off the table, but the Gragas getting picked away from the Bully as well. Again, such a different draft from what we saw the first time. So far, we have a blue side Alistar and a red side Braum. But what else are we going to be picking up for both these teams? The big thing to keep in mind is how they're going to be answering Nunafan's Diana. One of the ways you can often get away with punishing this character is find something that's good in the early game. Characters like Talon are very strong at punishing them early on. Things that can wave clear and force them under turret and miss a lot of CS, limit their gold income will be strong. With a Poppy coming up Interesting pick. Not the greatest thing you see into the Urgot. Does have the steadfast presence to stop the disdain dash, but not necessarily the most powerful thing in the world. As Bluebird going to be picking up a Talia for themselves.
Yeah, picking up Talia's pretty good. I think Talia's still a consistently strong jungler, kind of one of those junglers who wants to go across the map, look for picks, and establish a lead for either her laners or herself, either of which is really good for them. I'm not sure. I think the Poppy pick's okay. It stops the Kai'Sa ultimate dash. It stops the headbutt pulverize.
But the
Not Kassadin.
Kassadin,
Yeah, you can't stop the
Kassadin
Kassadin.
coming in. Uh, they're going to be trying to fight fire with fire. Now, I was talking about Kassadin earlier on. This is one of the few matchups that Diana can actually go toe-to-toe with her opponent early on in the game as the Lissandra is locked in. We've seen this as a counter pick to the Urgot a couple times in the past. But the big thing to keep in mind is that Diana will be able to push in the Caston, who has an even weaker early game. Caston takes a little bit longer to come online. Diana really starts getting that one-shot power at about level 9. You get the last point in the queue, and then you start just double pressing R on people as you start to run around the map, whereas Caston waiting for at least level 11 to really become a full-on champion as they are going to be trading around. This is a very different draft, but a lot of the same style of tools. The big thing, though, no wave clear coming out from the side of Bluebird. They're going to be very reliant on their jungler to bring the wave clear for them, because Kassadin doesn't have it, and the very little that he does have is very, very unsafe.
Yeah, and then we see the Lissandra, Aftershock Lissandra. I think it's something that's come up recently, and I think it's really nice. Aftershock complements a lot with her kit, and I think, especially in the top lane, I think it's the one matchup that's really favorable, or can go toe to toe with the Urgot.
We'll see if the bully is able to bring it out. He is going to be going with the Aftershock, getting a lot of those extra tank stats, and will provide a little bit more of a front line with this Lissandra pick than you would expect from other characters in the top lane that would normally be playing the majors. But as we load onto the Rift, as they are on the other sides, I'm excited to see where they go. I'm expecting both teams just go with a simple fan, potentially throwing out another one of those Winter's Bite Qs from the Braum, but otherwise not expecting a whole lot of early action this game.
Yeah, as we are going to be loading on to the Rift here, going to go ahead and call it out. Blue side, we have the Blue Burbs with Shanghai playing Urgot in the top lane, Arcam Avalon playing Talia in the jungle, Takeo 8 playing Casta Win in the mid lane. Hold that
Wild.
thought. Pulverize right away. Oh, doesn't dodge the Winter's Bite. Should be safe under turret. As Anarchy rudely interrupts my announcement of the team here. We're gonna go back to okay. So Teko A in the mid lane playing Kassadin, Dalzinor playing Kai'Sa, 80 care, and we have Wild playing the Alistar support, and that rounds out the composition for Blueburbs.
Oh, that's the Anarchy, but as we look at... Oh, you're right. They have the wrong sides. They switched. They tricked me. As we look at Anarchy's roster, it is the bully up in the top lane on Lissandra. D tier actually still playing the same player that is still Athena on the Poppy, Nuna fans, Diana in the mid lane, and then Viper Fang and Bangless Driver on the Lucian and Braum in the bot lane. And nothing really super exciting happening. They got a little bit of damage down onto Wild, but he's already healed all of it right back up. And they're going to start out the red buff here as well. Both sides helping out their jungler on the bottom half of the map. And I wonder how this is going to affect the early game as they start to look at the early Scuttle Crabs. Talia actually has a very strong level 2 to play with, but Nunafan already pushing Teko around. They're going to have a little bit more priority on the side of Anarchy on the red team to really help out Athena as they continue to move around the map. Arkham's going to be picking up his Raptors, and I'm expecting both these guys to be going to the bottom side of the river, get some damage down, hopefully he could pick up the Scuttle Crab for themselves.
Yeah, already we see Viper Fang applying some aggression against this Kai'Sa Alistar lane. As we still see both junglers going to meet around this bottom Scuttle Crab here, maybe try to contest it. I think Arcam should have a little bit more pressure. I'm not too sure how good Poppy is at clearing that Scuttle Camp.
But the bottom lane, look at all that damage.
Yeah, that's a lot. Concussive blows does proc. As we see Viper Fang already forcing Dalzinor to pop the heal to protect Alistar here. As we see Bankless Driver receiving a lot of damage from Kai'Sa there. And that's going to be quite a fair trade. I think it's more in favor of Anarchy here just because Alistar's forced pop potions, and Brahm's still sitting on one, as we do see Poppy's bot side. I'm not sure Bluebird's aware of this, as we see D-tier's ready. I mean, Athena, they're going to go ahead and he's going to miss the charge as Wild's going to flash away. But Concussive Blows is already proccing. Does get it, finishing it up on Wild. That's going to be first blood over to Wild. Viper Fang, as Dowsenar gets the kill for himself here. Concussive Blows does connect. Winter's Bite is going to be able to get the stun through, as that's going to be a kill going over to Athena.
They are going to find a couple of kills in that bottom lane, and it was a good flash coming up from Wild, but Dowsenar are going right back in, trying to find the trade kill onto Viper Fang. It's going to get them a little bit more gold, but I think it would have been better to cut their losses, as you're going to be giving a lot of snowball potential over to your opponent's. Bang Bus Driver is going to have the opportunity to push this in. Avalon does pick up a little bit of his opponent's jungle, taking away that red buff, which will help his pathing a little bit. He's trying to get to that level 4, getting a lot of power into his ganks as they get the lower cooldown onto that Q. But for now, he's just finding a little bit of a farm advantage, traded away for those kills, and you're really hoping to find Taliyah find a lot of opportunities to gank early on in this game because of how powerful they really are. And now getting put a little bit behind in terms of tempo, not going to be able to find ganks nearly as easily.
Yeah, we see Shanghai shoving up. Meanwhile, Wild gets a headbutt pulverized. Viper Fang's by himself. Brahms might be able to jump in.
Block.
Oh, the save right there. Mr. President, get down, as Bang Bus Driver keeps Viper Fang alive from that skirmish between Dowsenar and Wild.
And he does get him to stand behind him. Bang Bus Driver coming in as the hero. But that is going to push him out of the lane. He's going to have to go back, and Shanghai getting juked a little bit. Are they going to be able to find this fight? Bully doesn't have a way to get out.
Yeah, Bully misses the W from Lysandra. Force the flash. There's no ultimate, but a W from Urgot's disgustingly going to be able to pick up the kill, as Athena's in a bad spot here, as Taliyah is able to set up a double kill for Shanghai. And this is huge for Bluebirds here. This is something they needed. This is the early game tempo they need, and this allows them to set up a lead for themselves.
This is going to look very good, as Shanghai completely turning around the top lane. The Bully not going to be bullying around nearly as much, not taking the claw earlier on is really going to hurt him as he gets caught again.
Yeah, we're already TPing back in. Shanghai's level 6, looking for damage, not looking to tower dive. Has to be mindful of that, but already the Bully's already at half HP after TPing back to lane.
And Taliyah coming in here as well, looking for a lane gank. These are criminally underrated. Bully walks too far forward. They're going to be in a very bad spot, but we see Shanghai doing a good job trying to push things in a little bit, try and make sure that the Bully thinks everything is the same as normal, but finds the Seismic Chef.
Oh, gets the knockup. The Claw's going to be able to make the quick getaway. Urgot ultimate connects and is going to put him in the meat grinder. Shanghai picks up a kill once again. 3-0 on this Urgot.
That's going to be so dangerous. He hadn't even backed yet. He's going to go back with so much gold in his pocket, over 2,000. All the components necessary for the Black Cleaver. All he needs is to combine those later on, as we see both the Kindle Gem and the Phage coming out. The rest of the team going in. Wild looks for an engage.
Yeah, Wild's looking for something here. His Bang Bus Driver's looking for the return trade here. Viper Fang putting a lot of damage as Dowsenar not able to match the damage. It was a really good initiation, but Kaiser's just not at the point or at the power spec to return enough damage to make these trades matter.
He's gone with the fleet footwork, which, Nunafan.
Yeah, Nunafan's catching out. Poppy here, or actually, never mind, they're looking for the dive. Nunafans has level 6, so Dowsenar has to be really careful here. D-tier sitting behind this turret. This dive could be really good for them here if they are going to pursue it. And as they're looking for it, we see D-tier. Actually, Athena not quite going to come in for it. They're going to go ahead and realize this dive is already aware of. Dowsenar and Wild are prepared, and they're just going to go ahead and hug their turret like it's their best friend.
I mean, they have to. They saw that Arkham Avalon went down just moments before. They were waiting for Nunafan's ultimate to come back up and the rest of the team to bring in the wave. And now Athena getting caught out by Avalon.
Yeah, Athena able to smash Arkham against the wall. Gets a kill for themselves as Tekko 8's looking for some. The nice W from Poppy blocks the headbutt pulverized combo as Tekko gets a kill for himself and is looking for more Tekkos here. The TP from Shanghai, the Urgot is here, so strong, does not have ultimate available, but he's looking for Viper Fang, has to walk away, gets a knockup, and is looking for more. Bangbush Driver able to latch onto his teammates, and the Urgot ultimate right through the legs of Bangbush Driver, able to get Viper Fang down.
And this game is looking so much better for the side of Bluebird here on the blue side. Shanghai finds another kill, 4-0-0, but the bully, with no TP of his own, not matching, is just going to be pushing in the waves and getting a large chunk of damage down onto the opposing side of the map. We saw that they were so far forward, but Avalon going down incredibly early on in the fight, but Nunafan, with no mana left, wasn't able to really continue pushing damage onto any priority targets. But as he comes back into the mid lane, he's still going to be doing a-okay in terms of farm. And even though we see a small gold lead coming out for the side of Bluebird, they're going to be so reliant on Shanghai continuing to make these plays because he holds almost all of their gold advantage. He has 1,400 above his opponent, and that is more than the entire gold lead that the team has.
It's really good for Shanghai making his comeback. He looked really pitiful with that Trundle top lane, but this is his redemption arc here as Wild walks into two members. Knocks Bangbush Driver, but he's just going to be able to just walk away, put the shields up, and Dalzinar is not going to be able to get enough damage onto this Braum.
We'll see if they are going to be able to find any other fights here as we continue to move forward into the game. The Cloud Drake is on the table, but if Worlds has taught us anything, we don't expect either team to put a whole lot of priority into this. Instead, as the Rift Herald comes onto the map, we can imagine, oh, look at that damage!
Yeah, Nunafan getting a lot of damage on Techo 8 there. That's just the one rotation combo coming out from Diana. And we see how Techo 8, the level 8 on the Castle, are not able to match that. His power spike isn't until level 11, as you said. So he just has to sit tight and just hope that he can make it that long as the headbutt pulverized combo connects on two members. Viper Fang forced to flash away. Glacial Fisher connects, trying to zone him off, and Bangbush Driver's going to be able to survive.
Beautiful ultimate coming up from Braum to get that disengaged. Dalzinar with no ultimate. Misses the pulverize, but it's going to be okay. Viper Fang really just looking for that level 6, getting access to that culling, but Dalzinar already level 7. He might just need to use this ultimate to clear out the wave. This isn't what you want to be seeing as a Lucian. You end up being rather irrelevant if you don't find leads early on into the game because you're supposed to be trying to snowball this game out of control. But when you're pushed underneath the turret, players like Avalon able to move around, provide a bit more pressure. We'll see if they are able to find anything now that this Talia is here in the bottom lane as well. There's no flash on the Viper.
Yeah, Weaver's Walk going through, blocks him out, and not much to do there as Dalzinar just pops Viper Fang. D-tier is a little bit too late. Athena gets the 3-man Poppy ultimate and is able to preserve the lives of Bangbush Driver and Athena.
That will help out a good amount, but still, Dalzinar 2-1-2 on this Kai'Sa, going to be getting a lot of damage very quickly as they should be able to finish up the Stormriser. Shanghai still kind of struggling to get real damage as the Aftershock finally wears off. Now they're getting the damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Was probably looking to get that ultimate off, but wasn't feeling confident. I think the bully just has to be able to react fast enough to ult himself before that ultimate goes through. Anyway, so counterplay there, folks, as we do see first turrets should be going over to Bluebirds here as Bangbush Driver is looking for more. Pops Ignite early on Dalzinar, flashes away early, might be able to make his escape, but gets pushed into the wall from Poppy, and oh wait, they waited too long as never mind, Viper's able to do the drive-by and gets up the kill for himself.
But Wild, reading the situation correctly, runs in the opposite direction and gets himself right on out. Avalon was almost there to try and turn things around, but wasn't able to find the last bit of damage. They weren't able to even get anybody low, and now with this tempo lead, they are going to be picking up the Cloud Drake for themselves. But the real player we have to be paying attention to throughout this game is going to be Nunafan on this Diana. Diana really only has a single win condition, and that is blowing up single targets in Shanghai in a bad spot underneath the turret.
Yeah, no mana. Just gonna try to be able to walk away from here, but that's going to be a fat shutdown gold going over to Diana. The win condition is shining. catch out Shanghai and look to try to turn this game around for Anarchy here.
As they continue to push things forward, Nunafan is back in the mid lane, has his own ultimate available, and with nobody matching them, they're going to lose the bot lane turret on the side of Bluebird. Dalzinar going a bit far forward. Will he take it? No, he doesn't have the killer instinct available. Instead, they're just going to be giving up this bot lane turret effectively for free. The bully will be able to go ahead and back away and return with full health and mana.
Yeah, Bluebirds may be looking for this top lane turret, but they already know Nuna's fans wrote. Actually, they do. Yeah, they do know Nuna fans nearby. Wild has already spotted him. Maybe looking to get the top tier turret, but Athena's here along with Nuna fan. They're gonna be able to hold down the top lane turret for themselves.
Interesting thing to pay attention to is going to be Nuna's mana bar, as well as a lot of Dianas are going for the Spellbinder into the Rabadon style of build. You don't have a lot of mana to play with, so you only get 1 or 2 rotations, so you don't actually teamfight very well on this character. Instead, you're looking to make the map a bit more chaotic, wait for people to run around and just run into you. But as they are going to be trading players around the map, we'll have to see how the lane allocation works out for Anarchy. They're backing away Nunafan, but here we go, looking for the seismic shove.
Not able to connect as Viper Fang's in a bad spot. Bangless Driver is looking for the Glacial Fixture. Knocks 2 of them up, but the Ignite is ticking. Last Tick is able to get the kill. Wild picks it up. And they are maybe looking to position themselves for this top lane turret. Bangless Driver not really capable of holding this out on his own.
They should be able to pick this up relatively easily. They're going to need help, but at the same time, just as Anarchy did in the first game, Bluebird is doing it this time around. They are splitting the map wide open as people try and match this dual lane. Nobody was really matching Shanghai. The bully finally arrives, but he's not in a position where he's even strong enough to fight up against his Urgot. Look at that 1 Q, taking away a quarter of their opponent's health. That's
a lot of damage, and the bully has to be careful. Doesn't want to play with fire here, as the Bluebirds are going to go for this Rips Herald here. Should be able to pop this quite easily.
It should be going down, and the question is what they'll get with it this time around. We saw that last time Bluebird, when they picked it up, they got 2 turrets, but they lost their Nexus at the same time. Shanghai looking for damage onto Nunafan.
Yeah, Nunafan has to be careful with that Urgot. Shanghai may have been popped earlier, but he's still forced to be reckoned with here.
See how everything moves around. They are giving some time for Lucian to farm his way back into the game, but even as he's farming, his opponents are going to do the same thing. Viper caught out.
Yeah, Bangless Driver sacrificed himself, but doesn't matter. Viper Fang's going to get pulled in. Okay, no, oh wait, there you go. He pops soul, saves it for the Braum. Was a little bit confused there from the indicator, but doesn't matter as Shanghai's trying to survive. Diana's trying to burst him, one-shot him as Athena's able to shut down the Urgot, and they're looking for more of the TP from Lasange, or the bully looking for something, as Dalzinar should be able to get this mid lane turret for himself.
We saw that Nuna opened up with the ultimate, didn't have the reset, and didn't have the damage to instantly blow through Shanghai, who appears to be going for a Death's Dance. A little bit greedy perhaps, but will have to go with the results-based decision-making if he's going to be able to find this game. Bring the extra damage will be so helpful as they're double split pushing in the top lane. There's not a lot of wave clear on their other 3 members. In fact, there's not a lot of wave clear on this team in general. Luckily for them, the side of Bluebird is going to be backing away, not going to be taking the 2nd tier turret in the mid lane, as our back just barely doesn't get stopped. But gold's still sitting at a relatively similar 2,000 gold lead, 1.5 coming out for the side of Bluebird, and they do have a composition that scales excellently into the later game. But again, Nunafan on this Diana still always has a win condition, and that's waiting for their opponents to walk into them and get one shot, because they aren't paying enough attention. They don't have the vision necessary to know exactly where this Diana is.
Yeah, Dalzinar is in a bad spot. Viper Fang and Bangless Driver say, hey there, we're going to go ahead and kill you, as Dalzinar can't do much there. No support. No, he did have a summoners, but that death was inevitable, and that's a really good pickup for themselves. Able to get some gold back into Viper Fang here.
They actually even knew he was there. The bully getting caught out a little bit, but the pink ward did spot them moving around. There they go.
Lasange ultimate able to lock down Shanghai, as he's still able to get the kill on Noonfan. Flashes away, but the smite from Athena able to pick up the kill, as we're looking for more. Our camp Avalon is here. Talia is It is on cooldown, but the Poppy ultimate connects on Cass, and Techo 8 is out of the fight. Now it's just Talia and Alistar as Bank Bus Driver is looking very low here. The boy has to be careful. Walking away, but Wild is able to get the kill. And they're so low as Talia's looking for something here. Alistar is going to try and 1v1 this AD carry. Viper Fang is just so behind. Alistar already completed the Storm Razors, has a bit of damage, and is able to get the kill off.
And we saw that Avalon had the perfect fight for Talia. Nobody's hitting him. He's able to move around so that he always has unworked ground, and he was always getting maximum value out of that Q, throwing as many rocks as he could. And because of that, their opponents weren't able to actually find a win there. But with the mid turret going down, the gold lead is going to continue extending for Bluebird, and that's going to give us a real series on our hands. They're going to be backing away towards the Infernal Drake. Everybody is alive from both teams, but will they have time to try and contest this? They're doing it so quickly.
Yes, so quickly, and not much of a response time coming out from Anarchy as well. Gets a two-man pulverize as, able to get something out of here. There's a lot going on. The bully's gonna get pulled in. That's a three-man fear coming out from Shanghai. They're looking for more. Able to finish up. It's cleanup duty for Shanghai. The God is turning into the God. Weaver's Wall cutting off. D-tier Athena is on the run. Not able to get the knock up, and they're gonna let him live and look to go for this inhibitor turret.
And that was even after Dalzanor got one shot. Nunafan able to get far enough forward, get into Dalzanor's space, and bring down the Kaisa. But the rest of the team just brings so much damage to the table. Another moving fight, something that Avalon loves. He's able to get damage onto as many members as he feels like, as they're all bunched up. But they're going to be losing the inhibitor turret at only 19.5 minutes. The inhibitor will stand for a little bit longer. But now, everything's on the other foot. It doesn't have the same size of a gold lead. It's only about 5,000-6,000, whereas last game Anarchy had about a 10,000 gold lead at this point. But it's still such a huge lead. They shouldn't be able to really throw from this position unless Unifan and the Bully are able to find people caught out of position and then take massively overmanned fights.
Yeah, the tables have turned comparing to game one, where the Bully was making Shanghai look like a fool, but now Shanghai is making the Bully look like a fool himself. 0-4 on this Lysandra, is able to do some work, but not able to do much and provide much for his team at the moment.
He's really not. The Bully really getting pushed out early on in the game, potentially a little bit unfamiliar with the Lysandra gameplay patterns. We saw that the early death going down as Shanghai was able to find the solo kill and later pick up Athena as well, is really coming out to hurt them. There hasn't been a lot of opportunities for the Bully to really turn things around. And now even more damage coming out from this Urgot. They're not going to have a very strong front line to play with. The only thing they'll have is the Alistar, and after the initial combo, you can kind of ignore him. So I'm a little bit worried that this is going to be giving their opponents an opportunity to turn things around. But with the gold lead as it is, it might not even matter. Shanghai still so strong, and now picking up a smite for his team.
Yeah, they Shanghai going for that smite. They're probably looking to go for Baron. It's a 21-minute Baron they're looking to do. Shanghai's in a bad position. Not going to get punished too far, as he's just going to boldly say his dominance and push out Anarchy from their own jungle.
They are on a bit of a timer right now. Bluebird has the waves getting pushed against them in both the top lane and the bot lane. And that's really going to hurt them later on if they aren't able to manage them. But it looks like Shanghai is going to be going up, pushing the top lane right on back. And so they're going to be just fine. Just start up this Baron relatively soon. If nothing else, they can hit it and force their opponents to come to them. But even if they don't do that, they can still just do the Baron. There's not that much threat being presented from their opponents. We're still seeing the Spellbinder stacked up. The Rabadons is not complete. So Nunafan doesn't have the same kind of 100 to 0 power as you might hope him to have at this point of the game. Instead, they're just going to be pushing up in the mid lane, getting some damage down, and setting themselves up so they can actually contest by running up as a team. But Shanghai caught out a little bit. Excuse me, he's catching his opponents out. Will they be able to find anything else?
Yeah, not much initiation from the side of Bluebirds. Since Shanghai went for the Death Stance instead of the Righteous Glory, does not have the really fast initiation. So compensating damage for initiation isn't the most wisest choice he could have done, but He's already built it. Not much he can do there. Hoping he'll build Righteous Glory eventually. Viper Fang getting
Oh.
caught out. Actually, Urga Ultimate actually not going to hit, but Killer Instincts able to finish off Viper Fang as Castlewind takes out Nunafan here. Shanghai doing his best to try to wipe the floor here as Athena has to be careful. But that's a quadra kill going over to Dalsinor. And this looks like it's going to be could be the end of the game. They don't have a minion wave coming up anytime soon, but they're looking to just try to end now. I don't know if they can actually do this.
They should be able to. The death timers are long enough. They are tanking it up, keeping that one minion alive. It does finally die, but they got another minion wave coming in, and they do so much damage. And Nunafan did his best. He found a massive crescent fall just to get everyone caught up in one spot, but he wasn't able to actually finalize the kill onto Dalsinor. Turns around, finds a quadra kill, and now we are tied up 1-1 as blue side takes both games.
Yeah, blue side might just be the win condition. Maybe it's because Bluebirds has blue in their name that the blue side is like their huge power spike.
We'll see if they're able to continue through that, as we are going to take just a short break while these two teams figure out how they want to play the rest of the series. They only have one game left to play in this best of 3. Will it be Bluebird able to find the reverse sweep, or will Anarchy figure out what they did wrong and bring it home to take the last game? We'll be back in just a moment, so don't go anywhere.